Hello friends and welcome to December. We are going to do a fairly short garden tour because things have slowed down a bit and been a bit neglected. I have just a small amount of things that I need to do, but I haven't been doing much because obviously it's winter and things are slowing down. But things have also just simply gotten neglected, and that is because I have some news to share with you guys, which I have been hiding up until now, and it's getting really difficult to hide from you. So I just wanted to share with you all that we are officially expecting little garden helper number 2. So you will see me working around the garden and it will be pretty obvious to hide that fact. So I wanted to share that with you guys, and maybe that explains a little bit of why I have not done as much as I probably could have been in the last couple of months, as well as I think I have mentioned in a handful of my videos just that like I couldn't do this because I was sick, or I couldn't do this because someone in the family was sick, or I was like getting out of breath in videos. That might explain everything. Though to be fair, I do have our other little garden helper is a 2-year-old and she is in daycare, so that also explains why we get sick. We actually do. She brings things home. Anyone with kids that go to a daycare or go to school, I'm sure you understand. So anyway, let's just jump right into the December tour, and I will show you what is growing and what, like everything back there is all pretty much put to bed, but I'll do a quick once over of that as well. All right, since this was behind me when I got started, I'll go ahead and get started here. These are the mandarins. Only 3 of them held on until this point. They are almost ready, but I don't know if you can see there's still a little bit of green, so we're gonna give those a little bit more time. But they are the Dancy Mandarin, and they were pretty good last year, so I have hopes that those 3 will be good this year. I got 9 last year, so I'm a little disappointed with 3, but I'll take what I can get. The pineapples are looking surprisingly great. If you've been following along, I've been trying to get rid of those, or debating on getting rid of those. The mums pretty much are done. Honestly, I think I'm probably going to rip them out because I want to use this planter, but we'll see. Behind this is the Bear's Lime, which didn't give us anything this year, and it still looks okay. Right behind us is all the lettuce that we planted, and it is looking great. I will need to come in here and just like chop it down. It'll grow right back up. I was doing the like cut and come again method, and honestly it's been more than we've needed. The nasturtiums reseeded themselves, so that's what all this is, and obviously something is back here chowing down on all of this. I don't know if you remember in a previous video I talked about starting Snapdragons, and they are definitely doing great. At least these ones are. They're beautiful, they're blooming. I wish I had planted more. The kale I gave up on because it's looked like this most of the time. It just keeps getting devoured. Still have some cilantro in the back and some basil. And then all back here is carrots and green onions, but I've been really slow about watering them, and as you can see with the sun pattern, they're not getting a lot of sun. So that's another reason I want to come in here and chop back a good chunk of this lettuce way down towards the bottom and let it grow from the center again. And hopefully that will give a little more sunlight to the carrots and the little green onions back there. I also wanted to show this to you guys because I've talked to so many people about Snapdragons, and I love Snapdragons. And I'm like, oh yeah, they're super cool because they snap. And people are like, what are you talking about? So if you don't know, Snapdragons, and I don't know if this is how they got their name, but it would make sense to me. When you pinch them behind the leaves, see that snap? My toddler, or I guess she's not a toddler anymore. My almost 3-year-old has been loving that. So yeah, you just pinch them right here behind the, like at the middle of the flower, right there, and they just snap. And as long as they're like pretty well developed, they snap really good. So let me know if you already knew that, because so many people I talked to didn't. And it's one of my favorite things about Snapdragons. So I'm like, that's why I grew them, so I could show my daughter that they snap. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if that just blew your mind, or if you've known that your whole life. All right, coming over here, we just have some like very crispy, because I haven't been watering it, cilantro and kale. This pineapple's not doing as well as the other one, but it's still doing okay. It's still growing. This is starting to lose all its leaves. This is the mystery pepper I said I was going to pull out, and obviously I never did. I'm already getting out of breath just talking to you guys. So the fact of, or the thought of coming out here and just yanking this has just been a little daunting. So I probably will overwinter this just by default. I'll come in and I'll cut them back maybe to like a Y, like right here, and maybe here and here, or maybe even here and here. But in any case, I'll cut it back and maybe let it grow back next year. I probably should get that weed out of there too. Over here we have some very wild looking basil and some more lettuce in the front we need to harvest. And I'm not eating any of this basil. The basil I showed you earlier in the other planter is still good. It hasn't flowered, but this stuff clearly has flowered. And I'm leaving it because the bees love it. And actually just before I started my video, a little hummingbird came by. So these are the other snapdragons that have not grown as well, but the plant looks very healthy. Just some flowers. This is exciting. This is all garlic. Now, most people, when they put garlic in the ground over winter, their garlic doesn't start growing. But here in zone 9, and I'm actually 9B, and to be honest, I haven't actually checked the new zones because I know those just changed. In any case, this gets a lot of sun and a lot of warmth, and so they are definitely coming up. And one thing I wanted to ask you guys about, see if you had any expertise, is if I move this, you can kind of see. Let's see if you can see. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there's an anthill, like right there. Right where this water spigot is. And so you can't see them at all until I water or I move that. So if you have any suggestions for an organic way to deal with that, they don't seem to be bothering the garlic. I think ants hate garlic actually, but it does bother me because I don't want to put my hands in there. So if you have any suggestions, I'm happy to hear them. Leave them in the comments below. And then over here, more flowers. I never pulled these onions out, you guys, but they started bulbing up, so I'm not going to. I'll get to this in a second. But let me see. Yeah, look, the onion started bulbing up, so I left it. Okay, so it's December. These, I believe, are June bearing strawberries, and obviously it's not June. But like I said, today's supposed to be a high of 80, 79, I think. So yeah, everything out here is kind of confused as to what time of the year it is. So I have actually a handful of strawberries, a lot of flowers. I don't know if I should pick them off because I've never had strawberries attempt to grow in December. Certainly not June bearing varieties. So let me know if you have any suggestions for that, if I should just let them go or if I should pinch those off. They're starting to brown around the edges because it's we've had a couple of really, really cold weeks. But then it got hot again. So I don't know. They're just as confused as I am. Okay, not much to show you over here. Everything at the bottom is gone except for right here. I'll talk about that in a second. The 2 avocado trees are doing actually really good. I don't know why. They really enjoyed this winter. I did not go up there and fertilize them, and I have not really been watering them because, like I said, I've been a little bit slow these days. Everything else is starting to go dormant. The pluot trees definitely are taking the lead on going dormant, and one of the peaches, I'll show you those in a second. This is where we planted the rest of the garlic, and they are just barely, I don't know if you can see, there's a little green, another green one right there. They're barely popping up. It's hard to tell right now because it's cloudy, but essentially this area doesn't get almost any sunlight at all right now. So, which was fine. It'll start getting sunlight again in a month, but for now, that's where we're at. All right, I just wanted to show you really fast that I still have tomatoes. And as you can see, well, 1, they're a huge mess, but 2, little bits of red everywhere. So whenever I need fresh, these are cherry tomatoes, but whenever I need tomatoes, I'm able to come out here and grab some. It's one of the benefits of living in zone 9. The apple trees at the top, those always struggle going dormant. I will have to go up there and strip the leaves off at some point. The August Pride peaches are almost completely dropped all of its leaves, and the Eva's Pride probably is going to need a little help. Everything else down here has been put to bed. That bed up top has been put to bed. The only thing left really, well, the zinnias are still here, but I stopped watering them, so they look horrible. I did tell you guys I wanted to overwinter this little pepper plant, and so that might be something that we do at the end of this video. You can see it's starting to lose its leaves anyway. And then I just wanted to point out this little lemon right here. You can't see it, because they're still green, but there are a couple of little lemons on there. And I have not been watering it, and you can tell, but I'm not going to water it today because it's supposed to rain all next week. And then up there, I'm going to try to zoom for you guys here and pull this through here. If you can see, I've got a handful of Cara oranges on that little bush, and we're going to wait a bit longer on those, but I think we're going to get some oranges this year. Last year I got one, and I think I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them right now. So, and on that little tiny bush. So like I said, it was a pretty quick tour this month because things are slowing down and I have been neglecting them. So I hope that 2024's garden will be lush and full, but I will admit I am planning to keep next year a little bit more minimal, which is actually one of the reasons I did the garlic. Because garlic, you kind of just stick it in the ground, and aside from, I probably should fertilize it and water it, there's not much to do. It's not a high maintenance plant in that sense. So I will probably be focusing on planting things like onions and garlic and maybe some pumpkins next year. Probably going to slow down on the tomatoes, no tomatillos, even though I know those are like a one-time harvest thing for the tomatillos and the Roma tomatoes, but they take so much maintenance for me. I have to cut them back a lot, and I just don't think I'm going to have that capacity. If I did not mention it, I am due in March. So like the worst timing for a gardener, actually, the end of March, which is, I don't know, it could be worse, I guess. I will probably need to get whatever's going to go into the ground in early March, which is not a terrible time to do it, but from the end of March through the end of April, I will probably be doing nothing out here aside from having my automatic watering going. So we'll see what those garden tours look like. But if you have any suggestions for some great low maintenance plants, I would love to have them. There's probably a handful of things I'm still going to grow, even though they require a little bit of maintenance, because I grow them every year, like zucchini and things like that, because I know I'll use them. But I am going to probably cut back on doing some of my more fun experimenting this next year. But if you have anything that you recommend I try, or you want to jog my memory, maybe it's something I've already grown that I haven't thought of, like potatoes. I didn't think about potatoes. They're pretty low maintenance too, so that's a good idea for myself. So I would love to hear it in the comments below, and yeah, that's it. That's December. Thank you so much for coming along and for sticking around in the cold winter months. You guys south of the equator, I'm excited that you are going through some really great times in your gardens right now. Been watching a few people in Australia, and it's so fun to see your gardens just, flourishing. But for those of us up here in North America, I hope that you are enjoying your winter. Merry Christmas to everybody. I don't know when this video is going to come out, but it's probably going to be super close to Christmas. So I hope you're all having a wonderful holiday season, and I'll probably see you in the new year. So happy new year as well. Thanks for watching. Bye guys.